Breaking news. Nnamdi Kanu calls on European Union, United States to conduct impartial investigation on insecurity in southeastern part of the animal kingdom Nigeria, that is Biafraland. Now let us go straight up to this issue. We're dropping a lot of news, but meanwhile we are still calling on Biafrans all over the world. Wherever you are joining us from, wherever you are participating from, make sure if you have the access, to go for the protest for the immediate release of the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko. Please try as much as possible to join that protest. It is going to be a historic one because Biafrans need to continue to raise their voice, to the Finnish government so that they will understand that the man that they are holding is a very important entity, to every Biafran. And also, one good thing about the protest also is to let the world know, especially Finland, that Biafrans are standing firm with the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko. And in unison, we are rejecting every, fake news and controversies and propaganda that they have actually, given against the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa Njoko. Now, let us go to the news of Nnamdi Kanu as he calls on European Union, United States to conduct impartial investigation on insecurity in southeastern geopolitical zone. The news in detail. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has called on the EU and the United States to conduct an impartial investigation into alleged state-sponsored insecurity in the southeastern part of the country. He lamented over the deliberate effort to falsely link IPOB members to fabricate raids in Imo and Anambra State. He expressed his grievances during a meeting with the legal team to address the Nigerian government's alleged attempts to manipulate public opinion ahead of his trial on April 29, 2025. Speaking via a post by his special counsel, Aloy Ejimako, Kanu described these raids as state-sponsored tactics to deflect attention from global campaign for his release. According to Ejimako, today, April 23, 2025, Nnamdi Kanu met with his legal team to address the Nigerian government's alleged attempt to manipulate public opinion ahead of his trial on April 29, 2025. Nnamdi Kanu highlighted concerns over deliberate effort to falsely link the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB to fabricated raids in Imo and Anambra, describing these as state-sponsored tactics to deflect attention from global campaign for his release. In response, Kanu has instructed his lawyers to formally engage the United States and the European Union to conduct an impartial investigation into the wave of state-sponsored insecurity in southeast Nigeria. We remain committed to truth and justice as we continue to call for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Free Nnamdi Kanu. That is what we will continue to say. Yes, it is actually important we continue to raise our voices as high as possible. EU needs to know, that is European Union. They need to investigate this, this insecurity, this so-called insecurity, just as they call it, in southeastern part of the country. They claim that IPOB, the Biafran struggle are the ones, who are responsible for this insecurity. But we know the truth. We know that these state-sponsored insecurity is just beyond the agitation that they claim it is. There are people, there are entities, who are working continuously concerning this. Apart from the normal, Fulani who are trying to invade into our land and cause more terror in it. So let us understand this. But my issue is European Union hasn't even done much concerning the whole issue of what is happening in Biafraland. The only people who has been speaking lately is the United States of America. We've seen their parliament, talking concerning the crimes that is happening in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria, to Christians. At least we can say we can hold on to that. But when it comes to the generalization of what is happening in the southeastern part of the country, both the EU and the United States of America hasn't actually done much. What will be, their stance on this, as we are hopeful that they will give us an update on this matter. But meanwhile, let us go into other news today. Make sure you're sharing this video to as many Biafrans as possible.
Breaking news. Nnamdi Kanu goes global. Right word powers as federal government of the zoo unleash massive media blackmail against his upcoming court appearance. Here are the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel /television this very moment. Today's date is 24th of April 2025, and I have some video clip and information from Nnamdi Kanu to every one of you listening to my voice right now from wherever you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people. Nnamdi Kanu has mandated his lawyers to write word powers, asking them for unbiased investigation into the state-sponsored terrorism against the indigenous people of Biafra. According to the tweet by Barrister Aloyo Ejimaka, I'm going to read this very news from his official X account, and after that I will show you some video clips. Remember the title that says, "As federal government of the zoo unleash massive media blackmail against his upcoming court appearance." Because it's in the public that the world has started speaking up against the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, against his abduction in Kenya, his rendition to the zoo, and subsequent incarceration in a solitary confinement in the DSS dungeon in Abuja. So right now, without further ado, let us read in details before playing the video for you. According to Barrister Aloyo Ejimaka, he said, "Update on Nnamdi Kanu's case. Today, April 23rd, which was of course yesterday, 2025, Nnamdi Kanu met with his legal team to address the Nigerian government's alleged attempts to manipulate public opinion ahead of his trial on April 29, 2025. To manipulate public opinion. Are you getting it? To manipulate public opinion. And this public opinion that they are trying to manipulate is not the zoo public, not Nigerian public opinion. No. But the international public opinion. That's why they are making videos here and there, trying to blackmail his court appearance, because the world has started speaking up against his abduction in Kenya, extraordinary rendition to the zoo, and his illegal incarceration in a solitary confinement in the DSS dungeon in Abuja. So they are using the videos which I will be playing for you moving forward after when I'm done reading from Barrister Aloyo Ejimaka to manipulate the international public opinion against Nnamdi Kanu, for them to continue to keep him in the custody. The same thing they are using our fellow Igbo people to do against Mazi Simon Ekpa in Finland. Are you getting me? Are you paying attention? Because the days ahead is not clear as I'm speaking to you. Now, according to the barrister, he said, to address the Nigeria government's alleged attempts to manipulate public opinion ahead of his trial on April 29, 2025. April 29, which is few days from today. Onyendu MNK highlighted concerns over deliberate effort to falsely link the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB to fabricated raids in Imo and Anambra. You all understand the video that Nnamdi Kanu himself is talking about. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, there's a viral video that showcased where, a lot of skulls were dumped in a certain place. A place that is fenced, a farmland fenced and gated. And if you watch that video, I don't want to play that video on this platform because it might go against YouTube rules. You see that video went viral, especially on X, formerly Twitter, where some group of armed DSS with some people from Osu Hitokwa, and Osumohu were parading themselves around that very compound, showcasing the scores, mentioning IPOB, mentioning Eastern Security Network, just to blackmail Nnamdi Kanu. Are you paying attention? There is nothing else, just to blackmail him, because we all know that, first of all, Eastern Security Network does not have any camp in Osu Hitokwa. No single camp of ESN in Osu Hitokwa. And it did not end there. ESN is no longer on existence. As I'm speaking to you, Eastern Security Network has ceased to exist long ago. Long ago. But that does not mean that the personnel of the Eastern Security Network have been wiped away. No. These members of Eastern Security Network were transformed into what we have today as Biafra Liberation Army. Igwe Butuzo was a member of Eastern Security Network. Yes, Commander Gentle was a member of the Eastern Security Network. But the moment Biafra people formed a government, you cannot operate a government with an ordinary security, vigilante group. No. They were converted into the Liberation Army, which is the right thing to do. And anybody still telling you about ESN, whether they are DOS or Nigeria Media or Nigeria DSS, Nigerian Army or whosoever, anybody who still mention ESN is strictly doing that to blackmail Nnamdi Kanu, because they know that ESN is no longer on existence. Everybody is aware of it. They all know, because all the members of ESN, they follow, especially the commanders, because when commanders stand, then their subordinate follows. They all know, all of them, all the commanders and their subordinates were all into Biafra Liberation Army. None of them is left behind, apart from those that resigned when they realized that DOS have sold them out. Yes, I am telling you the gospel truth. It's not about tell us where is their camp. So in the Osun that we are talking about, there is no camp of ESN. We have Mother Valley, which the zoo is aware. I am not exposing anything. They know is in the public. And the Mother Valley belongs to the Biafra Liberation Army, not the Eastern Security Network. So when they say ESN, they are using it to blackmail Nnamdi Kanu, because they know that Nnamdi Kanu has no hand in the formation of the Biafra Liberation Army. They know this. And Biafra Liberation Army is strictly for the defense of the Biafran people and Biafraland. Nothing else. Nothing more, nothing else. The only army that commit terrorism, aid and abet terrorism, is the Nigerian army, because they are the only one that disarm people and allow the Fulani herdsmen terrorists to move in and commit genocide. It's only the Nigerian army and police. Who else? Who else does it, if not these two organizations? The Biafra Liberation Army is the People's Army. Now, according to the lawyer, Barrister Loye Jimakon, he continued. He said, describing these as state-sponsored tactics to deflect attention from global campaigns for his release. In response, Kanu has instructed his lawyers to formally engage the United States and the European Union to conduct an impartial investigation into the wave of state-sponsored insecurity in Southeast. We remain committed to truth and justice free Nnamdi Kanu. So this is from Barrister Ejimako, and I hope the message is very, very clear to those who are listening. Now, I want to play for you some of the video. In fact, I just want to play one video for you to see what the zoo federal government is doing using our own people just to blackmail one man. And these people they are using are fully aware that they are being used to blackmail their own savior. What an irony. What an irony. They are fully aware that they are being used to blackmail their savior, a man who has come to save them from the Fulani conquest of their motherland. They know, fully aware, but because of the money that has given to them by the state and federal government, they have found it very, very imperative, necessary to blackmail their own savior. It doesn't matter if they perish in the next couple of years. Hey, chai, Ogene Ndibani, Alumelo, my people. Now, this is one of the videos. I want you to take your time and watch this video. Pay attention, my people. I have something to say.
Saw that all the houses in the compound were burnt down. Only one place he managed to fix recently, because he decided, I saw the courage upon him. He said he's not leaving his community, and he didn't run out of the community. He has been here from the onset till this day. Like as I said before, this is his house, and the other one over there, including that of his cousins and brothers, relatives, all here. If you could remember, this house was in order as at how many years ago, sir?
7 years ago, it was okay.
As at 7 years ago. So you see that, take your view back to 7 years ago, you see that this house was one of the best as at 7 years ago. But situations and the security challenges in the land brought this upon them in the community. He has been there. And I've gone to various compounds to...
First of all, because I don't want to strictly analyze this, maybe I will have to make a live broadcast to analyze it, to debunk whatever nonsense they are saying here. 7 years ago, ESN was not yet formed. 7 years ago. So I don't know how they abandoned buildings 7 years ago just because of ESN they are talking about, when ESN was not yet formed 7 years ago. So I will have my time to analyze these things. I'm telling you, God willingly, I will have my time to analyze them. Let's continue.
Ask very few questions. And I did like him to tell you just 1 or 2 points on what happened. Good afternoon, sir. Please, can you tell us your name?
Okay, good afternoon. My name is John Kinsley.
Okay, John Kinsley.
My name is John Kinsley. Orisakwe. Ubuagu.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually,
are you from this community?
Of course, I'm from Mami Bebenata.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, how come your house were burnt? Just stand one place, let the camera again. What happened that your houses were burnt down? And I'd like to know.
Yeah, what happened is that the house was actually burnt by IPOP terrorists.
Did you hear him? That the house was actually burnt by the IPOP terrorists. And he said he's from where? He's from Osun. This is a known saboteur that has been used by the zoo government and the state government to sabotage the freedom of his own people. Facing the camera to call IPOB IPOP terrorists, which even he himself is involved, is included as an indigenous person of Biafra, unless Mobundi Fulani Motana Nibo. Unless Moso Nandi Fulani Motana Nibo. Nasribo. You know? How do you say that? But this is not even the case. Let's continue.
Because of the activities they are conducting in this community.
Okay.
So there was a friend, a brother of mine. I think they found that the man who brought this rubbish also. You know, when he took the event took him time to, because at a point he was acting like a issue, like doing sort of things for youth, like kind of trying to become a leader.
Okay.
So in the long run, that thing turned to a different thing. I don't know how the emergence between here and the Carlo. So when they gave order 2021,
did you hear that? Did you hear him mention Nnamdi Kanu? When they gave order in 2021. Let me take it back a little bit. Pay attention, please.
How the emergency between here and the Kanu. So when they gave order 2021, started killing people.
This is my problem. And this is what the Zoo federal government wanted him to say. And they captured it on camera. They posted it. He said that man and the Nnamdi Kanu, when they gave order in 2021, they started unaliving people. This is exactly what the Zoo wanted him to say. I won't continue playing the video because of time, but when I have time for them to go live, I am packaging a lot of things. Pay attention, my people, as we move. Thank you. To Salo Numozia and make it go viral. Igbo governors in shock as sit-at-home cripples all activities in Biafraland 2 days before Christmas celebration. Hear the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel /television this very moment. Today's date is 23rd of December 2024, and I have very important information for every one of you listening to my voice right now from where you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, I want you to pay very good attention to this very news because it's very, very important. I can assure you, my people. The Igbo governors from the place they call southeastern part of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria, otherwise known as the hinterland of Biafra, and of course, those political jobbers, the ministers, the senators, all of them serving the interests of the Fulani Caliphate within the Biafra territory, are in shock as I'm talking to you right now all across Biafraland. Today being the 23rd of December 2024, which they all believe should be very, very significant in the lives of all Igbos and Biafrans at large, which they believe could have been the beginning of the end of sit-at-home in Biafraland. Little did they know that the Biafran people are not pushovers. The Biafran people have sworn to maintain this very civil disobedience until their demand is met. And number one demand is, of course, the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, who they are currently incarcerating in the dungeon of a terrorist organization known as the DSS in Abuja. So I don't want to talk too much. I have a lot of videos to play for you from different locations in Biafraland. But before that very video, let us read the report, or should I say the publication from Punch newspaper, Nigeria. Punch is, of course, one of the leading news platforms in the entire Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. And according to their own title, they said, sit-at-home cripples Yuletide shopping, commercial activities in Anambra, in the old Anambra state, the defunct Anambra. But of course, it is not just in the old Anambra state, because the video that I'm going to show you is taken from different locations in Biafraland. So let's read in details and then I'll show you the videos. They said, partial economic and commercial activities were recorded in major cities of Anambra State on Monday as banks, markets, motor parks, business centers, petrol stations, and public premises remain shut over the Monday sit-at-home. Now, I'm asking the writers and editors of Punch News, why are you sabotaging yourself? Imagine from beginning they said partial listing. They said partial economic and commercial activities were recorded in major cities of Anambra. Partial economic and commercial activities in that same place. After mentioning all the things, both, of course, banks, markets, motor parks, business centers, petrol stations, and public premises remained shut over the Monday sit-at-home. So if all these things are shut down today because of Monday sit-at-home, how comes you started with telling us partial economic and commercial activities were recorded? Why are you sabotaging yourself? This is self-sabotage from Punch newspaper, Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom. Now, they said here, it was gathered that the major markets, motor parks, and other public places were devoid of the huge influx of human and vehicular activities recorded in the past few days as a result of the Yuletide, as the markets and motor parks were under lock and key. So why did you begin with the partial, commercial activities recorded or partial economic activities recorded? Why did you begin with that? Now they continued. The second Niger bridge and major roads across the state had scanty movement as residents remained indoors. If residents remain indoors, so how are you telling us, that witness scanty movement? Why are you telling us witness scanty movement if you have acknowledged that residents remained indoors? Self-sabotage again. Now, police operatives were seen deployed at strategic places at the River Niger Head Bridge, while some operatives were also seen patrolling major streets in order to avoid any breakdown of law and order. No be juju be that. There was apprehension by travelers coming into the southeast over their safety should they embark on their journey on Monday. But the presence of policemen at the River Niger Bridge doused every tension as they ensured free and fair movement of vehicles along the corridors. Let me make it clear that the zoo terrorist police has nothing to do with security. Every Biafran must understand this. The Nigerian police, the zoo terrorist police and army has nothing to do with security. The security of all Biafrans lies apart from the security given to us by God himself. The next person or people who secure lives and properties of all Biafrans are the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Defense Forces. They are the only people that can guarantee you security, genuine security from their own heart. Not security on paper, but in reality, the only thing they bring to you is atrocities. What they bring to you is kidnapping. What they give you is criminal activities, all manner of criminal activities, including terrorism. That is what the zoo police bring to the table. They have nothing to offer you. Anything called security is not on their agenda. So everybody should be very, very careful. Monday sit at home continues. Also choir Daniel on 31st of December. The next one. Also choir the next one. Yamanya on the 1st of January. Also choir the next one. Yabulu 25th Christmas Day. Sit at home continues. That is where my fight will start. Anybody who tampers with our sit at home who has already tampered with Nnamdi Kanu, and I will not allow that to happen. If you like, call me any name you like. It's none of my business. Now, without further ado, let me play you some of the videos that I have here. And of course, I want every one of us to pay attention to it.
Today is 23rd of December 2024. Monday start home update here in our Pachanga Memory Gate. Biafraland. As you can see, all classes are here. Still remain under lock and key for our leader Nnamdi unconditional release and all their funding in the dungeon. This is Ochanga today, and we are calling Finnish government to defend their democracy and free our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Eba. We still know how important today is to all Biafrans, especially this 23rd in the season. But as you can see, everyone was totally shut down. Justice to our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, justice to our leader Nnamdi Kanu, and justice to all Biafrans who detained JSS Dungeon. Today is 23rd of December 2024. Monday start home update here in the main market. As you can see, all plaza still remain under lock and key. It's a dirty protest. Our leader Nnamdi Kanu unconditional release. And for Biafrans, be detained in different DSS. This is Achanga today. We are calling for this government to defend the democracy and free our Prime Minister justice to our leader and justice to PN and justice to all their fans. Today is 23rd day of December 2024. You can see the situation in this side of the world. These are here anyway, precisely. Everywhere shut down on the evolution. No one cajoled enough for them to be. They want freedom. We have decided to seek for freedom. Biafra needs freedom. We have gotten it. We have declared and it is done. So if you see the to say everywhere, this global is reporting from Abba State precisely. So please let everyone get this message to say everywhere. Let them know that we have gone. That this sit at home is indefinite. It's indefinite. No one will stop it. It is happening and it is happening. And no one can stop this. You can see everywhere shut down the evolution. Everywhere shut down. No one can show them. They say we love money. But I can say that they have shut down their market for 10 they believe so much. Because freedom is the key. The market are shut down. This is Abba State. This global is reporting on this side of the world. Sit at home continue. We have declared Biafra and redeclare it, and Biafra is here. Defend your territory. Kudos to Biafra government in exile. Kudos to USB and kudos to Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, who have declared to be, and today is being obeyed everywhere. Global news 23rd of December 2024. The total in the south of the world is 150%. Everything is cool and calm. The shopping center, global news reporting from this region, Abba State precisely. Everything is shut down. Everything is shut down.